Apa khabar semua orang? I hope everybody is okay. Welcome to another financial. Sekejap, tengah share on my socials.
Social
Uh,
media.
Socials. Sokmat. Is it sokmat? What's that
Sokmat.
slang orang muda guna? Sokmat. The first time I heard
Sokmat.
sokmat, I'm like, benda apa tu sokmat? And then I was like, oh, social media sokmat. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't speak that lingo. But yeah, so sokmat. I'm sharing with my
Yeah,
sokmat.
we are old
Welcome
lah.
to an.
We are
Ya itulah.
we
Mengaku.
are old lah, bro.
I know I'm old is because got people come to my laundry. Alamak, tengok. I got people come to my laundry nak basuh. And then do the whole thing. I explain. Lepas tu dia pandang and they walking off. Oh, thank you very much, uncle. I'm like, aduh. Uncle jadi dia, tapi mengaku. I mengaku I am uncle. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, but that's life, right? So anyway, today is
Yeah.
a very interesting day when it comes to what we're going to discuss, because in a way I'm kind of related to it. I'm kind of affected by it, or it's adalah sipi-sipi kena sikit, and it actually relates to a lot of people as well. And we're going to discuss more about it today. And remember, it's the financial hotline. Even though we got one topic, we are okay to discuss something else as well if you post your questions. So if you got any question, apa-apa soalan aja, jangan segan. Just put it there in the comment and we'll try our best to answer it any way we can. Tu je, okay? So make sure you know that. Next one, this thing under me, you scan, you can get a free financial health check just for free from a licensed financial planner. They will do it for you. They'll give you the results, but they won't tell you what to do from the results. That one, if you want to take it further, can. But if you want to pick it out sendiri, boleh juga. So you can do so. Another thing we want you to do is follow, please, Wealth Vantage, Mice, all sock mats. They're sock mats. Follow their sock mats and then we can talk about it. Okay, now one more of my sock mat I got to share first. Let's talk about money. And then about money. Okay, to dia. And then let's talk about money. So I don't know where to start with this topic today. Where do we start with this topic today?
Yeah.
Let's start with the definition of a gig thing, Majigi.
I think okay. So basically, this term gig economy lah, has been around recently lah. So not to say that this type of jobs has not been around for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, is just that in the past few years, it's been more prevalent lah.
Yes.
More
And
prevalent.
and people tend to
So
like think that is the cooler way to work.
correct. So because I think if you look at the formal definition of the gig economy, is basically the labor market where you're talking about short-term contracts or freelance type of work
Yep.
compared to permanent jobs.
Yep.
So it's a shift, it's a paradigm shift lah from when we were growing up,
Yeah.
when our parents were growing up. So
Yep.
it's like during our parents' time, so loyal, like getting a job and staying loyal with a company was normal. So means that you get one job, you stay in that one job
Correct.
until you retire.
And,
So it was normal to get long-term service awards, things like that. During
correct.
our time,
Yep.
then like if you stay at a place for 5 years, 10 years, you champion already. You champion already.
Betul.
Yeah, but people were still mainly looking for the long-term jobs. So because of the
Correct.
stability that it provided, it's just that people were jumping jobs to help them get the salary increments, etc. Because it was shown, and studies also that shown, if let's say you stay at the same place for the long duration,
Yeah.
compared to somebody who jumped from one place to another place, your salary will be lower in the end. Okay,
I
but
can vouch for
now
that.
the current,
I can vouch for
yeah,
that. Dulu masa radio sama lah. 14 tahun one
uh,
place. Gaji tak gerak pun. But
uh,
yalah.
and now the current generation do not even want to stay at the place. They do not even want to
Correct.
stay at a place. They basically want the flexibility, but at the same time wants the income. So you can say to a certain extent it's like a time shift, like how things have moved from, let's say, 50, 60 years ago to where it
Yeah,
is now.
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's also giving certain issues to, because like right now, okay, so bosses, business owners, our generation or our parents' generation,
Correct,
okay,
correct.
so now they are having this problem right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
in terms of securing workers, securing talent
Oh,
for their jobs,
I know.
for
Okay,
their businesses.
continue, continue.
For the businesses, because there is a mismatch of requirements.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And no, I think it's not mismatch of requirements. I think mismatch of expectations. It's
Maybe.
it's 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 the wants and needs of both parties are very different nowadays.
Correct.
So and okay, before we continue any further, I want to clarify that both Rafiq and I understand that cost of living has changed, and everything has changed. That one we mengaku, we admit that is a fact. We're not saying there's no such thing. We paham, we factor that in as well. All right. So, but the whole mismatch of wants and needs is very prevalent nowadays, especially when looking for help. Um, and it's not easy. And the weird part, this one I'm speaking as a business owner, I don't know what someone wants as a worker. I really don't know already. In my mind,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, because I think if, let's say, it was even like 4 5 years ago, so if, let's say, you were to put up a job application, means
Yep.
that you have a job available, you'll be getting potentially like tens or hundreds of applications.
Correct. 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 Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Correct.
But now, if, let's say, you put the same job application, even with a higher salary,
Yep.
even like getting 10 to 15 is like considered luxurious already.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah, so because I used to be in HR, as you know. So I used to be in HR. So one of the things that we didn't like to do in HR is actually to sift through the
Because
multitudes
too
of
many.
CVs, etc., because there were too many.
Yeah.
Right. So now, even like people in recruitment now, they have to be more proactive in looking for talent. They can't just wait for people to come, even for the bigger companies, established companies.
Which I don't get. I don't get what the thing is. Okay, maybe we already admitted at the start we are older. If anyone younger watching this, you can put it in the comments and tell us why. Maybe we don't understand. Okay, but based on our knowledge, it's mind-boggling lah. And remember, just a refresher, if you're just joining, you want to ask any questions when it comes to any financial questions, even though non-related to the topic, just put it in the comments. We'll try our best to answer, right? But going back to that, is looking for people, it's extremely hard. And because the wants of people has changed. The what they
True.
want, the what they want is not what they need, but what they want. They want the best one. I'm still looking for someone to work at my laundry. You know what
Yeah.
question I actually got? Can I work remotely? Kedai Dobi lipat kain macam mana nak remotely? You know what I mean. My brain was like remotely. No, but
Yeah.
okay lah. If,
Yeah.
if you think there's a way of you
Yeah.
folding clothes from far away, then yes, you can work remotely, but you can't. But yeah, so I don't know the wants and needs. But let's go into
Yeah. I
that lah.
Yeah, I think this reference, yeah, I think this reference might be confusing for maybe of the younger generation lah. So maybe if, let's say, you actually know Doraemon and you actually have the pintu suka hati, maybe you can get the person to work remotely for you lah.
Betul. Unfortunately, I don't know Doraemon and no Pintu Suka Hati. So unfortunately, I can't. So it's very weird.
Yeah.
But let's look at the gig economy, the pros and cons at it. Okay. If you want to
Hmm.
look, later on we'll look at the hiring process and all that nonsense. But let's look at the gig economy as per se, the pros and cons. Let's look at the pros. Why a lot of people like the gig economy. All right. In your opinion, what do you think is the pros?
I think with regards to the yeah, so I think with regards to the gig economy, okay, one of the biggest pro of the gig economy is you dictate how much effort you have to put in,
Okay.
where you're
Wow.
working from. So the flexibility, I think the flexibility
Right.
for especially the younger generation is actually very important.
Right.
So like and they can see a direct correlation. So if let's say example, if you're a Grab driver or
Yep.
Grab rider or Food Panda
Yep.
rider or whatever, so
Yep.
the more effort I put in, the more income I get. So
So
if I
it's
want
up to
more
me.
income, I just yeah, it's up to me. So if I don't mind having less income, so I put in less effort. Okay. So they can see to them it's like okay, I can see how my effort correlates to what I earn.
Right.
And
Okay.
I decide I have the power to decide how much I earn anytime I want. Okay. So that to them is a bigger pro.
Right.
And second is for the at the start of a career, um, you can to be honest, you can get more most of the time working in the gig economy compared to working a traditional job.
Yeah. 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 Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, so
Agreed.
so you can easily probably like if let's say you rajin ni, you can easily get 3-4 thousand a month doing Grab.
Correct.
Can
Correct.
you easily get whereas like working as an fresh undergraduate, so minimum salary now 1,500. If let's say you have a degree, mungkin you dapat 2,500 or 3,000. But then 9 to 5 job, so you kena bangun pagi, then hadap jam, go to the office, kena marah dengan bos, ada deadlines, blah 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 blah. Balik pukul 5, pukul 6, jam lagi, or you naik komputer because gaji tak cukup,
Right.
apa komputer rosak, all that. So you're in the rat race lah. You're in the rat race, etc. And so if I'm gonna earn that and go through that, why don't I just do the gig economy thing? Can so I can then bypass all of that and I earn more. So it's a
Right.
short-term view actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's. I'm biting my tongue. Everything you're saying, I agree. I know what you're saying. Tapi nak gigit lidah tu lah. Tapi I senyap ah. I senyap. I senyap. I just bite my tongue for the time being. But yeah, short term gains. So everybody's looking at short term gains lah.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
short-term
but
gains.
there's
It's
cons
short-term
to
gains,
it
and
too.
it doesn't. Yeah, but yeah. So this is where I'm coming. So, but and it doesn't help that cost of living has gone up.
Yes.
Due
Yes.
to the pandemic, due to demand is higher than supply, blah 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 blah, all that, kan?
Yep.
So then because of then that need, so then it will more of this younger generation to go through the gig economy because in the end they still have to make ends meet.
Yep.
Whether we
Yeah.
like it or not, they still have to make ends
Make
meet.
ends meet. Agreed.
So yeah, so and that's the thing. So those are the pros lah. Those are the pros.
Yep.
Why
Yep.
we've talked about why they would go to that. Okay,
Right.
the issue with the issue with the gig economy, and a lot of people, especially the younger generation, look at this is there's no career progression.
Yes.
There's no
Yes.
career progression. So
Yeah.
it's gonna sounds like a weird concept if you don't
Right.
understand what it means.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but because I'm as a financial planner, so I can see the salary progression of my clients. So when they from when they start working to once they get their promotions, when they have more experience, they build up their expertise, etc. So and we've talked about this. Like remember when we had the you start gaji 2,500, by the time you
Correct.
reach age 45, you can be a millionaire, things like that, because we took into
Yes.
account the career progression.
Right. Yeah. 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 We
Yeah,
put that into account. But gig economy,
correct.
there's no such thing.
There's no because the what you get is based on the effort that you put in,
Correct.
most of it. So think about this lah. So one is let's say a Grab rider. So let's say right now, in order to get 4,000 ringgit a day,
Mm-hmm.
you're putting, let's say, 10 hours a day, six
Mm-hmm.
hours, 6 days a week. Okay.
Correct.
Potentially 5 years from now, you'll be doing the same thing in order to get
Correct. That's
4,000 a month.
yeah. Nothing
You'll
changes.
be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Or you might be doing more because then Grab has changed their
Yeah.
uh, calculations or formulas in terms of how they remunerate you. And that
Yes.
actually happened. Like I have clients who work in as agents for this like founders, etc. Blah, blah, blah.
Understand. Yep.
So at the start when the founders need the agents, so generally like the commissions are more are higher. So like not saying any names lah. So basically, let's say
Yeah.
okay, now a top agent at the start, a top agent maybe sell 1,000 items of that
Yep.
particular product, and
Yep.
they can get, let's say, 10 to 20K.
Yep.
Okay, but as the years goes by, same product, but now there's competitors. So competitors are starting main harga, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So
Correct.
then cost also goes up, things like that. So then the margin is squeezed.
And and
So
that's the big
then
word.
the top agent have to sell
Yeah.
double.
Yes, and that's the word. The margins are going to change. When you look at things, margins are going to change. Like I give you the Grab riders. I've got some people who actually said, as I said, I was looking for people to hire. Right? They say I can earn more with Grab. That's the answer. But the answer of earning is duit masuk. You're not counting duit petrol, duit makan, all the things that you spend to do the thing you're doing to earn that money. So you're not putting that
Right?
into account when you do the equation. So technically, you're not really calculating. You're just looking duit masuk, wah banyak. But duit keluar, you tak kira. So that's the thing I don't get most of the time.
Betul?
It's just
Yeah.
sorry lah.
So they at what most business owners do lah. They look at the revenue. They look at revenue, not at the profit.
Correct.
Whereas, yeah. And that is thing. So okay, I'm not sure whether this is the best example to use lah, but this is just based on my observation. Okay. So
Yep.
my late grandfather used to drive a taxi.
Yep.
Okay. He was a taxi driver when he was still healthy, when he was still strong. Okay. So
Yep.
but my mother's family was not rich, and I hardly see rich taxi drivers.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
there's none.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Mainly their mode of earning is similar to what Grab drivers are right now.
Yeah.
Is based on effort.
Yep.
It's based on effort. Whereas, like I've seen people who earn salary who started off with salary of 2,000 or even lower, as like the years goes by, then now the income is 8,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000,
Correct.
and they were able to save a lot more. They were able to save a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
But
I,
the
I, I
amount of
agree.
effort they put in
Yeah.
is literally the same.
Yes, exactly. And the one
It's just
thing
that the value of the effort has gone up.
one thing that the job security part, you know, the trust between employer and employee is it's different already nowadays. You know, the whole saying like, you know, your company doesn't care about you, so why you should care about your company? That kind of drama. A lot of people, the younger generation, have that kepala otak lah in their thing, is because they're like, I rather be my own boss. I do not want to answer to anyone else. I understand where you're coming from, but that is only, not all companies are bad, okay? And the crazy part is, job security is very important about towards progression, because when you're secure, that's when you can build. When you're not secure, you never can build.
Yep.
Even in a gig economy, I'm not just talking about Grab. You can be in other things, like you freelance accounting, you freelance this and freelance, a lot of freelance. All right, when you do go into that kind of work, freelance and all, there's no confirmation every month the paycheck will be the same. There's no confirmation of how much you're going to get. So therefore, you cannot grow your wealth without confirmations of how much you're going to get, because that's part of growing your wealth, knowing how to distribute your wealth. If I'm not mistaken, lah, based on what we've been talking throughout these
Yeah.
years and all that. So that's the hard part about the whole gig economy and pros and cons. But yeah, and sometimes a stable income helps, because at the end of the day, if you know there's that much is going to come in at that specific date, then only you can budget. We've always talked about budget. We've always talked about savings
Mm.
6 months beforehand. We've always talked about that. But if you don't have a confirmed amount coming in, then it's going to be harder to budget. And
Yeah,
not
because
impossible. We're not saying impossible. Harder to budget. Tu je.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So if because I think okay, so if you think about it, what actually I'm doing now is part of the gig economy
Yes.
as a licensed financial planner, because we do
Correct.
earn commission, so our income is not fixed. Technically, there's no career progression. So, because that's one of the questions that I get
Yeah.
from some interested parties. So what's the career progression? Because in a normal agency, in unit trust or insurance or takaful, so usually they have levels. So
Correct.
because it's the standard MLM structure. So you start off
Correct.
as like in entry level, then you become a supervisor, you become a manager, you become a general manager level, blah 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 blah. And there are perks that comes with it.
With it.
But in the
Yep.
BVA we don't practice that as a single. So uh, orang baru masuk dengan ni semua sama. Your benefits is semua sama, tak ada apa. Your income is then totally dependent on the effort that you do put in. Okay, so I'm just reflecting against some of the people that I've met, some of the people that joined us before or have left.
Right.
Right. So and there are people like who are struggling in terms of generating an income.
Right.
If
Okay.
I were to be honest, okay, I'm not
Yep.
saying that you cannot generate income, because we do have successful cases where people are living comfortable life. Okay,
Correct.
but there are a lot more people out there
Yep.
that are struggling. Like, oh, how do I pay my loans? Even like earlier today, this afternoon. So I had somebody contacting me, a banker, and like asking about transitioning to become a financial planner. But she said, "Oh, my commitment is high right now, and I'm afraid that I
Okay.
won't be able to earn an income to cover my commitments."
Correct.
Right. So then her instinct was, I'll just stay at where I am until I'm comfortable enough, or I have enough savings.
Yeah. But that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm not saying it's wrong,
Yeah.
but oh, it's tricky. Huh? You brought that up. It makes it tricky a bit. Huh? The whole conversation. No, but when it comes to like financial planners and stuff like that, I mean, like based on what you're saying, and certain amount of jobs, like even freelance when it comes to directing and producing and copywriting and all that, the better you are at it, your name goes up, and then more people want to hire you, and therefore you can increase your pay, because there's only so much of time you can spend on how much you want to do. Therefore you can increase your pay for how much you want to
Yeah.
do that for. So it does make sense. But for like licensed financial planners and stuff like that, more people who want to hire you to become theirs, and they're demanding like, no, 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 I will give. So there can be moments like that. So in a way there is a progression. But when you talk about stuff like Grab and stuff, no one's going to go, oh my god, I need that guy to come deliver the food again, and you should pay him more. So there's no
I'm gonna
progression
pay them
there.
more.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, this guy, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tip him so
So
that the next time he will deliver my food. No, there's no progression there. It's just duit masuk,
yeah,
duit kerja, duit masuk, duit masuk. There's no way of improving
yeah,
from that.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So I
yeah, lah.
I think it's also for to frame the discussions. I think then we need to separate the type of gig economy jobs. So
correct.
you have the professional types as you mentioned lah. So you
Yep,
have your potentially your accountants, your financial planners, your directors, your
yep,
creative people, things like that,
yep,
where
yep.
once you build your name, your brand, your expertise, etc., people would be clamoring to hire you, and they'll be willing to pay whatever that you ask them to do. Okay, so
Correct.
yeah. So but then that is then similar to the comment that I made earlier about people who work a 9 to 5 job. So because
Yes,
technically their current employers or their future employers see the value that they bring and pay for that value
correct.
versus
Agree,
the non the non-professional type. So your Grabs lah, your
agree.
Grabs, etc., where it's basically just effort.
Correct. No, agree. And the crazy part is these people who are able to go into this freelance gig economy, talking about the creative people and all that, have already built a name for themselves in the normal 9 to 5 first. So they put in their time in the 9 to 5 to build their network and their name, and then they go freelance because they believe, okay, there's more career progression here. I can earn more if I'm on my by myself. So that makes sense. So I understand that part lah. Okay, now uh, um, to argue this point more and more and more, it's going to make me irritated because I'm still looking for a worker for my laundry. So to a point, okay, I point this out. My previous worker was earning 2,200 a month, folding clothes, cleaning the laundry, and everything. Okay, and the thing that
It's
blows
not
my
bad
mind
actually.
is, it's not bad. So what blew my mind is when I started radio last time, my pay was 2005. Then dalam otak I like, wait a minute, what is going on here? But never mind lah. So I want to ask you, let's move it to something else. How does one grow wealth while they're in the gig economy? Can someone grow wealth while they're in the gig
Oh,
economy? I'm not talking Grab, ah. I'm not talking Grab, ah. Mungkin Grab pun boleh. Okay, if Grab, I would say like this is my opinion. I let you think first. If Grab, I would think is if you work extra hard to earn a lot of money, but save most of it so that you can maybe open up a burger stall or do something different and own your own business. I do understand that. So work hard now, bila masih muda orang kata kan. So bila masih muda, just work to 10 hours, 11 hours, just do it. And then you save the extra, put aside, and then build a business, and then for capital to start a business, and you start business. That one I faham. But how does one grow wealth in a gig economy? Can one grow wealth?
okay. So growing wealth, as I always mentioned, so it will always start from how you manage your finances.
Right.
Okay, how you manage your finances. So if let's say you have more after spending what you need, then it is possible for you to grow wealth. Okay, so that's the first part of the equation.
Right.
So as you
Right.
pointed out lah, so okay, somebody who works in Grab, etc., blah, blah, blah. So you need to earn more than what you spend.
Yep.
So then you
Yep.
should be able to need. So if let's say you earn less, then there's nothing that you probably won't be able to grow wealth lah. Just doing that. But it's the same in anything that you do anyway. It's the same in
So
anything that you earn. So you
exactly.
need to be
So
able to earn more. Yeah.
the basic thing
That's
from
why I have always said like you cannot plan your way. You cannot plan, yeah.
correct. It's
I think there's a lag.
exactly same answer you give Elon Musk. Uh, because your cash flow is the where you grow your wealth. Is if the money coming in is more than the
Yeah,
money coming out, then you'll be rich. Okay, as simple as that. And the more money coming in and the lesser money coming out, you'll be rich. That's the basic idea. No matter what level you
correct.
are in
Yeah,
your life, it's just figuring that
correct.
out properly, lah.
Yeah. So that's why the lower income categories, lower income families are having a hard time because
Yep.
they are
Yep.
not making enough.
Yep.
So this will also be the categories where they would uh, be affected by rising cost of living. So
Yep.
when apa harga minyak naik,
Yep.
harga ayam naik, harga roti naik, whatever, they will be affected because most of them probably are already borrowing in order to survive. Okay,
Yep.
borrowing
Yep.
with in order to survive. So to them, getting any income to help supplement whatever that they have
Yep.
is then a plus already.
Yeah.
So even if it means that in the short term, while figuring things out, they do things like Grab
Yep. 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 Yep.
because Grab can at least help them maybe to get out from the debt trap.
The debt trap. The trap
Yeah.
that a lot of us
The
live
so
in.
I'm not saying yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that Grab is bad. So don't take me wrong.
Yep.
I'm not saying that Grab
Correct.
is bad. But I think if let's say you have the potential to become to create value means that because you have a degree or you have etc. Just going to do Grab because you need to earn extra income now, I don't think that would be helpful in the long run.
Correct.
But if
Correct.
let's say you it will be harder for you to build up your experience because of your background, because of educational name, blah 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 blah. So then yeah, maybe Grab. So is the
Rafiq,
environment that you
I
are in,
think I lost you for a second there.
then um,
Your line got cut off for
which
a
part?
second there. That
What was the
the
last thing
middle
you heard?
part, the middle part.
Okay, what was the last
Because
thing that you heard?
so you're talking about, you got your degree and all, and then you go Grab, and then like that. So it's you're talking about the degree, and then
Ah,
you want to do Grab after
yeah,
that. That part.
yes. Yeah, so okay, I'll just repeat again. So I think if let's say to me lah, if let's say you have a degree, you have a professional qualification, and you have the potential to create value
Yep.
to your efforts, things like that. So I think uh going to Grab just because in the short term you need additional income might be harmful for you in the long run.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But if let's say your academic background is lesser, so means that you're in the lower end job spectrum, things like that. Maybe going to somebody like the gig economy, etc., will be helpful for you now and
Correct.
slightly more in the future. But you also need to understand
Correct.
that like it's not going to be as good as it is once you get older, once you have more commitments, because
Correct.
your earning potential is limited.
Correct. So at the end of the day, if you want to go into this gig economy, you already have to have a plan 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what you're gonna do, and where you want to be, what kind of savings you have, what kind of lifestyle you want to have. All that you have to have plan, even though it's economy. That's why when you join any company, they tend to ask you where you see yourself in 5 years, where you see yourself in 10 years. Those are stuff to see if you got a plan, all right, rather than just go with the flow, all right. And
Mm.
like what Rafiq says, especially when you have
Yeah,
a degree and all that, a professional qualification. Sometimes professional qualification and the A's look nice, but also professional qualification and the A's, and also worked with a senior that is recognized, also brings your name up. And the only way for you to work with seniors that are recognized, you have to go into companies. You know what I mean? That's how it works.
correct.
So you've got to take all that into account when it comes to pros and cons, and growing your thing. But at the end of the day, you
Yeah,
have to have a game plan of what you're going to do. Correct. That's the thing when it comes to gig economy.
correct. Yeah, yeah. I think that's the most important thing. So it's similar to in whatever that you do. So you need to have a clear entry point and also an exit plan. So it cannot
Yes.
be just okay, I'm just going to do this because it's earning me more income right now. So because I actually
Yep.
had a conversation with my kids, I think what, a few months ago. Okay, I
Yep.
had a conversation with my
Okay.
kids a few months ago because my son was like very proud that my mother gave him some money for doing some odd jobs.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay. For him, it was a considerable amount of money, lah. For him, it
Yep.
was a considerable amount of money. And for doing like helping out, carrying out some stuff here, then he got about
Fair
50
enough.
ringgit.
Yep. Yep.
So then like he was showing off to he was showing off to his sister lah, because to him it was a lot of money. So
Yep.
then he said, "Oh yeah, then oh I can do this lah. I can do this to earn money." So then I just
Right.
asked him lah, okay, so if let's say you get this amount and you get it like every day, how much would it be? So if you let's say do it, so he said about 1,500. So I asked him, "Do you think that's a lot of money?" Yeah, he said it's a lot of money because that is his
Yeah.
perspective.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
anything in the hundreds of thousands is a lot for him.
It's. Yep. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So then I said, okay, so if let's say you were living on your own, okay, which is a new concept lah. So if you were
Yeah.
living on your own and you have to, and he likes cars, and you have to have your own car, you have to drive your own
Ah.
car, you have to pay for your
Right.
own car, petrol, things like that.
Right.
So how much do you think it is? He said, don't know. So then I said lah, okay, you know how much I'm paying for the car that you're in right now? So he said, nope. So I said, I'm paying about 450 a month. Huh? 450 a month? Okay, then he did math lah. Okay.
Yeah.
Still can. Right. Yeah,
Okay.
but that doesn't include the petrol. So petrol is about 400 a month also. Okay, so 400, so that's 850. Okay,
Yep.
I still have some money left. Can.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Then I said
Yeah.
toll about 150 to 200 a month, including parking, etc. Oh, okay. Then can see his face change already lah. And I said
Correct.
that's only one expense.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
and if you're gonna live on your own, then you have to pay for a house. How much you think I'm paying for the house right now? Don't know. Right. So I said I'm paying about 2,000 a month.
Yeah.
Then tak cukup, dia cakap.
Yelah.
So I said that's why you have to study hard. You have to learn skills so that people will pay you for your skills so that you can earn
Correct.
more. Ni.
Correct.
So because that's why like people even like I after I graduate. So technically, okay, I don't like to talk about it, but I graduated from the top university in the world.
Correct.
So
Correct.
technically,
Correct.
I could just coast with that degree
Yes.
because
Yes.
it would be a conversation starter wherever that I go to.
Correct.
Even now that I'm not doing engineering, so people still talk about it. So, wow, it's like even I think yesterday we had awards night for one of our providers lah. So one of the financial planner from different firm approached me saying, "Oh, I'm glad that you are in the financial planning industry because you graduated from MIT. So
Yes.
it gives like
Credibility to the name.
recognition to the
Yeah,
industry
recognition and
that
credibility. Yep.
that somebody from MIT is part of the financial planning industry in Malaysia." I was like, huh?
Right.
In
Right.
my mind, like, what does that what does that
Have
have
to
to
do.
do
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
with
Yeah. Yeah.
my with being a financial planner lah? But
Yeah.
the point that I said that even with the educational academic background that I have, because
Yep.
yesterday was also SPM results, right? So a lot of people are talking on SOCMED right now, like
Yes.
about
Yes.
okay, SPM is not the last thing, so even if you fail, you can still succeed in the
Correct.
career, blah 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 blah. So it's the same thing. Even if you succeed in your SPM, your semua, that doesn't mean you're set for life lah. But I would like to believe that at least in my case, like because through the experience I said, uh, just having those three letters in my CV
Yep.
got me into the door all the time.
Correct. 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 Correct.
So I didn't really have to macam like take this additional qualifications, blah 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 blah, in
Yeah.
order to prove myself some more.
Yep.
But I
Yep.
still
Yep.
went
Yep.
because
Yeah.
I wanted to build myself. I wanted to go into a different field, things like that, so that I can make a bigger impact, can earn more
Right.
than me. So as you pointed out, so most of the people who are freelancing, etc., they start from somewhere first. So to build up their network, expertise, experience, etc., before then they go into freelancing gig economy so that
Correct.
they can then earn more.
Exactly.
So I went through that.
and
I
the
actually
point
went through that process.
the point I want to make also on that fact is, if I ask Rafiq right now, the guy who's sitting right next to me in the screen, I ask him what's your plans for within 5 years and 10 years, he can roughly tell you where he wants to go and the target that he wants to reach. So if you want to do a gig economy, we're not saying cannot, but you have to have a target. And once you have your target, it's easier for you to build towards your target when it comes to wealth and all that. So that's the big thing when it comes to gig economy. It's
Right.
not a no. It's don't just it's easy like I can go whenever I want to, I can party whenever I want to, and I'll just earn. Cannot, you cannot live your life like that. I'm just saying. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
because it might be okay when you're still single,
yep,
but are you planning to stay single for the rest of your life? So okay, now
correct.
you're married. So are you planning not to have kids? Are you not
Yeah,
planning to send your kids to school, to university? Are you not planning to clothe them, to give them food, things like that? So those are things like what JJ says. What's your plan? And are you planning
yep,
to work until you die?
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah,
reason why some of us are working right now is so that we can have sufficient money to put aside, so that
yep.
we can then stop working and
Yes,
partly and enjoy whatever life that is remaining.
and retire. Okay.
Right.
Or
And
yeah.
retire.
So
Yeah.
it's a plan lah. Everybody has to have that plan. Okay. But going back to the gig
Yep.
economy and growing wealth and stuff like that, we've discussed this about the money in, money out, and we've discussed and Rafiq brought up the whole going the debt life, taking loans and paying back loans and stuff like that. So on that you have to be knowledgeable enough and have financial literacy enough to understand that there are certain loans you pay fast, you get it lesser. There are certain loans you pay fast, nothing. It's already calculated. There's no difference whether you pay fast or pay less. So rather use that money to grow your own wealth. You have to know that stuff. Okay. Another thing that you have to know also, you have to know to calculate whether, okay, if the ones that shrink, if I pay faster, but does it make more sense for me to pay how much I'm supposed to pay and save this and build another business to grow my money faster and all that. So you got to tengok semua benda tu. You got to calculate everything like that. Then a gig economy could work for you.
Yep.
Betul ke tak?
Potentially. So, but is it, I think that's the same for any type of job or any type of businesses that you have.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah,
because
true.
actually financial literacy is the same. So in whatever that you do, you need to be literate. So
Yep.
you need to understand your finances. So like we said earlier, you need to understand that it's always good to have more coming in than going out. Okay,
Correct.
that's personal finance 101. So now you're coming up with the second guide in terms of the debt. Okay,
Yep.
so with regards to that, the first thing with regards to that, if you don't need to take it, don't take it.
100%.
Right, don't take it.
That's 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Because 100%,
Yeah.
don't take a debt that you don't need to take. Right,
Yeah.
you
Correct.
must there must be a convincing reason why you need to take a debt. Getting married is not a good reason
Good reason.
to get a debt. Going for holiday is also not a good reason for getting into debt lah. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, then you need to understand the technicalities behind the debt. So you mentioned. So what type of interest are we talking about? Is it a fixed interest
Yep.
or is it variable interest?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So, and once you've taken the debt, so then how then you manage it? So as you pointed out, so if let's say you can earn more compared to the interest that you're paying, then put it aside. Don't pay it off.
Yes.
But if
Yes.
you can't, then pay it off. Apart from, let's say, personal loans or car loans, where the
Correct.
only way you will save some money through rebates, etc., is if you pay off the whole thing. But
Yes. Correct.
most often than not, people won't be able to do that
Correct. 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 Yeah. So
because
the
there's a
only way to
reason why
do
you took the loan in the first place.
because you don't have the money. So I mean, like, I'm not saying you
Correct.
cannot get a windfall of money. You got windfall of money kalau even getting a windfall of money, figure out where to put the money. Don't just simply pay off all the debts first. That you ask any
Mm.
person, anyone in business, if they get a big sum of money, they don't think, oh, let me pay up all my debts first. The first question they normally think is, okay, how can I grow this that I just got? Because suddenly I've got more money to grow rather than small seeds to grow, like that lah. So you have to think the same way when it comes to your finances, even though in the gig economy. Okay, we've always talked about the the money in, money out, and we call it the dashboard and all. So for gig economies, dashboard is you got to look at what business you're doing, right? And first all the points of income and all the points
Yeah,
of
yeah, correct.
out. And
Yeah.
you when
So
yeah,
it's much simpler lah because you're technically
correct,
self-employed. So if you're in the gig economy, you're self-employed. So you just look at, okay, so this is the income coming in, this is the expenses that's going out.
correct. And
Okay, so you just make sure that you have more coming in compared to going out. That's it.
correct. And you have to already start counting, like we mentioned at the start just now. If you're a Grab rider, we got nothing against it. We're not saying it's a bad thing or whatever, but we're saying count the money coming in. Say you say, wow, today this month I made 4,005. Cool. How much did you spend on petrol? How much do you spend on lunch? How much do you spend on other things, water to hydrate yourself, and all those other things that
Mm,
takes you to do your job? Calculate all that, petrol, semualah benda. How much that
yeah.
is, and then minus from the money coming in. Does it make sense or not? So that is actually your income. But if you work in someone's
Yep.
office,
And also put some money aside for savings lah.
correct, correct. So, but if you work at someone's office, the same thing. You got to calculate all your expenses and all that, and the money can be how much. So those are important things for you to look at if you want to grow wealth and gig economy and stuff lah. But now let's talk for the in the point of views for as an employer. Question: how do you think you can invite people from the gig economy to come join you? I don't know what else to do. I buntu already. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to
Yeah.
do. Do you have? It's
I
just a.
think I think
I'm
it
accepting
depends.
suggestions.
Yeah. So to be honest, I think it's really dependent on the type of work that you do.
Yep.
Okay. So I actually have employees that are working offsite. Means that
Right. Okay.
they don't come to the office.
Yep. Yep.
They don't come to
Yep.
the office. They work from their homes, etc. And they are actually willing to take lower salaries because there's no transportation cost.
Yes.
They don't
Yes.
have
Yes.
they can take care of their kids.
Right.
While so it then is a hybrid lah where it gives them the flexibility. Although like in your case, I'm a bit hard lah because yeah, you
Cannot.
actually need somebody who needs to
I need
actually
someone
be
there.
there. So
Yeah.
potentially one option is to open it like part time, like your 7-Elevens, etc., and
Oh
like
my god.
target like university college students. That's
Yeah. I
so
guess
you probably
so.
won't have you won't have a full time. So yeah, because I'm just like recalling when I was studying. Okay, so
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
jobs they didn't get full-time employees, so they leave it to students. So a lot of students apply, so then they just fill up the roster week by week. Okay, so then if let's say they need to change slots, etc., then they work within each other. Okay, I cannot come for this because something came up, blah 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 blah. So that is to me one potential solution lah for you to look into potential part-timers instead of
Right.
a
No,
full
actually,
time because you did mention if let's say you don't have this person or this group of people or this service, then it will also affect your revenue.
income. Yeah, my revenue. But you know what? The weird part before this, I thought of part timers, okay, but I didn't. Sorry, I thought of part timer. I didn't think of part timers plural, where you fill up a roster. But if that might just work actually, but then now I've got to do the calculation of how much per hour lah, and that's a whole different kettle of fish of craziness. But yeah, okay, yeah, it does
No,
make sense.
because for some students, especially, yeah, especially for those that come from lower income families, etc. So the ability to earn additional income will be helpful for them, because before this they might not have money to spend. Now that, okay, I work 4 hours a week, 5 hours a week at JJ's place,
Yeah,
so I get my additional like 40 ringgit, 50 ringgit, where now if let's say then I do that for 20 days a month,
yeah,
I get 1,000 ringgit extra potentially.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
So
makes
you
sense
just have
now.
to figure out the costing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just have to figure out the costing lah. And then like for hours that are not filled and you need somebody to be there, then you have to be there lah, bro.
Yeah, lah, I know lah. I'm already there. I'm already there constantly. So that's why I'm like, okay, how do I change this? Because it's put a damper into all my other work that I've been doing, all the marketing and all that. It's I had to put it on hold because
Mm,
that creative work tends to need a flow of thought process. It cannot be interrupted because once interrupted, like I gotta start the whole thing again. So that's why I've kind of like put it on hold a bit. So
faham, faham.
it's detrimental to my full
No,
income.
I
So that so
yeah.
that's why I like try and figure
No,
this
no,
out.
I totally understand. So because like even like right
Yeah,
now, I'm technically doing dual roles. So I'm a licensed financial planner. I'm also having
yeah,
day job at my own company, right? So something's got to give. So
yeah,
generally, my day
yeah,
job at the company is going to give lah, because clients is going to for everybody's salaries, etc. Blah blah. So I have to
yeah,
prioritize them,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So but partly is because we for certain positions we can't find the people that we want or the people that are suitable, and some positions we are not
uh-huh,
hiring just because we don't have money. So it's
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
a yeah, it's a chicken and egg thing lah.
it's a horrible situation, but back to the gig economy. Please, the let's recap for if you are watching this after the fact. All right, if you're watching this after the fact, because you're wondering whether you should go into gig economy or not. All right, let's recap on the
Mm.
pros and cons. Now, the pros were what again, Rafi?
Okay, so the pros is that you have the flexibility. So you have the flexibility to dictate your schedule. You have the
Yep,
flexibility to dictate the income that you want to earn.
yep,
Okay, where you're working from, etc. Blah
yep.
blah. So that is the biggest flexibility. And at the start, you potentially have a higher income
Yes,
compared to somebody that goes into the traditional 9 to 5 job.
correct,
Okay,
correct.
because
Yep,
again, your income is dictated by the amount of effort that you put in.
correct.
In the non-value added type of jobs lah. If you go
Yep,
freelancing into the professional type jobs, at the start also when you don't have experience, you don't have a client base, etc. Blah blah. Your earning potential is still going to be affected. You probably still will earn more, but it will also be dependent whether people want to engage you or not. It's because it's not
correct,
straight line
correct. Agreed, agreed,
compared to,
agreed,
let's
agreed.
say, you go into 9 to 5 job, you tak ada expertise pun, you will still get paid if you're being employed. Okay,
Yep,
so those are the pros lah. The cons of the gig economy is that there's potentially no career progression for the
yep.
operational type, no value added type of gig economy jobs.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so
Agreed.
earning, probably earn 3-4 thousand now. 10 years from now also you'll be earning 3-4 thousand.
Correct,
Whereas somebody
correct,
that goes into 9 to 5 job would can probably earn 2005 now. In 10 years time, probably earn 5, 6, 7 thousand depending.
correct. And also,
Right.
sometimes I believe
Yeah.
if you do go for bigger organizations and work for someone else, the ease to build your network is better because you already go into a place where
Right.
people know, so it's easier to build your network so that people know you. It's like what Rafiq says about the
Right.
university he went to. people know of that university. That reputation is really good already. So if someone sees you knowing that person, they're like, oh, okay, you must be good because you work with him, therefore guilty by association. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
that's the thing that working the normal 9 to 5 job does. It's like this lah. Kono na race lah, and there's a motorcycle, and you're gonna run. So 3, 2, 1, when you run, you'll be fast because the motorcycle fella has to start first. The motorcycle, greng, 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 then in he go. So he might look behind, but at the end he might be so much further than you because he has an advantage of a network under him or a machine under him. So like that lah.
Correct.
Too
Yeah,
young.
correct.
The best I can explain.
Yeah. So yeah. So I guess like, and just to summarize, again, we're not saying that gig economy is bad.
Yep.
Okay, we're not
Yeah.
saying that gig economy is bad. Depending on the situations, gig economy might be the solution for you to get out from your financial problems.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would, to be honest, as a financial planner, I would look at gig economy as a short term solution
Yep.
or a part-time solution.
Yep.
Means that, okay, you might have a 9 to 5 job. You might have a 9 to 5 job, so where you build up your expertise, your experience, your network, etc. Blah, blah, and then you have what you call side hustle. So like after work hours, then you say, okay, I'm gonna go do my Grab, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna
Correct.
do that, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you have your basic monthly income
Yes.
plus.
Yeah.
So then as your expertise grows, your experience grows, your basic income grows, then you're going to be less dependent on the additional side income in terms
Yeah.
of your hustle.
And the crazy part
So
about your
that's potentially one way to look at it.
yeah, and the crazy part about the side income could be savings towards once you progress there and you want to start your own business, you already got a big nest egg to start something. Don't have to go into loan,
Correct?
don't have to go into debt.
Yeah. Yeah,
You can
betul.
be your own
Yeah, I
investor.
was actually talking to one I was actually to one of my clients
Yep.
yesterday, actually, yesterday afternoon. So he's technically right now in a freelance type job where, so he doesn't have a fixed employment anymore, but he has
Yep.
a
Yep.
long term, not a long term lah, a 1 year contract with a talent agency lah. Means that,
Oh, that's cool.
okay, they find projects, then he goes into the project. But
Not confirmed lah.
the long term job with a company has ended.
Yep.
So now a different company got that job. So he has an option. He can go with a different company to do the same client but get
Hmm.
lesser income, or he can
Right.
stay with the company, go to a different place, potentially maintain income, but without any particular job. So blah, blah, blah. So then within one year,
That's
within that 1 year, he might not have a job. He might not
right.
have a job moving forward. So, but he's in the IT line. So I said,
Yep.
hey, why don't you take this 1 year? Why don't you
Yep.
take this 1 year? So continue with whatever they're doing, but start building up your business. Means that in whatever that you're doing right now, so you already
Yep.
have the expertise. So you've been in the line for 15, 20 years. Okay, you already
Yes.
have the expertise. So build up your profile, go talk to people, build up your networks, etc. within this 1 year, while you don't
Yep.
have to worry about your basic income.
Correct. Correct. So this year is the feel the nest egg year and plan for the future and go through the
Correct.
motions. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And
So
and
then he said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
correct. No, because that makes sense also because you have the security of income coming in at the end of the month, and at the same time you have a plan for the
Mm,
future to grow your thing, and you're going to put in the same amount of effort and time as if you do the other side as well.
yeah.
So yeah, it does make sense. So once
Yep.
again, I hope it's clear to you. We've discussed gig economy thoroughly, inside, outside, upside, downside, all semua ada already. But it's up to you to decide what you want. But if you want to come work with me, please come. I'm just joking. No, but at the end of the day,
No, you're
remember,
not
please.
joking.
Yeah, I'm not joking. Share this video with anybody who you think will learn from this, especially people who is graduating and contemplating of what to do with their future and where or what kind of work they want to do, share this with them. And if you've got any other questions for us, please put it in the comments. We'll try our best to answer them right after, I mean, after the show, and we'll go through it and so on and so forth. Anything else you want to add, Rafiq?
Nope. That's for
Okay,
tonight.
then. That's all for tonight. Thank you so much for joining. If you've got any topic you want us to cover, please just put it in the comments as well. We'll try and cover it as soon as possible. All right. But once again, good night. Thank you so much and see you all
Yep.
soon. Bye.